Hey guys, just wanted to put this out here real quick. Wilds of Eldraine is going to be in full release in just a few more days, so I just wanted to take a moment to look over the new set mechanics that we're going to be playing with going forward, just so that everyone has a full understanding of what these mechanics do. And so let's just step right into it real quick. So, first up, we're going to take a look at a returning mechanic, and this mechanic is adventures. What the adventures are, they're basically double-sided cards, kind of like those old like uh, like twin face cards, like Wax and Wane, or like Fire and Ice. Like they had images of like two cards on them, but this is like a different take on those older style of cards. Basically, it's if you look closely at the text box, you'll notice that it kind of like has the image of an unfolded book. And on one side is the adventure that the character is going on at first, and then on the other side is the character themselves. So in this case, we're looking at Kellen the Fey-Blooded. And Kellen here, he has a sorcery adventure, and his sorcery is Birthright Boon. It costs you a colorless and a white. And it says search your library for an aura, an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, that's not too bad. So and how that works is you cast the sorcery or the adventure, and the card itself gets exiled off to wherever exiled cards go to. And then you can later play the creature portion of it after it's been exiled. Or alternatively, you can just play the creature without having it ever go on to its adventure. So you have flexibility with what you want to do. And with most of the adventure style cards, the adventure portion of it tends to be thematically linked to the creature itself. So in this case, Kellen is a double striking creature that gives other creatures you control +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen. So he goes off, he finds his toys, then he picks them up and says, "Hey guys, I got my toys, let's go party." And that's pretty much the way that all adventures work. Like they're usually going to be on a creature, and they're usually going to be at least thematically tied to what the creature wants to accomplish. So that's what adventures are. So next up, we're going to take a look at a new mechanic for the set, and it's called Bargain. And this was my personal favorite mechanic of the set because I really like the whole like self-sacrifice archetype. I like aristocrats playstyle. I like sacrificing your permanence for profit either immediately or down the line. I'm a big fan of it. So basically what this does is Bargain you usually find on cards that you want to get like an added effect from. Think of it as kicker with an alternate cost. So Bargain reads, you may sacrifice an artifact, an enchantment, or a token as you cast this spell. Now, bear in mind, one of the other new mechanics of this set are the role tokens. And the role tokens are tokens, they are enchantment auras, and they go directly onto creatures. So any card that worries about tokens, worries about enchantments, worries about auras, any of that stuff, um, that's where this kind of a card is going to like come into effect. Like any card that cares about those is going to care about auras or tokens or things like that. It's a permanent type that matters in deck construction. So this card we're going to look at here is called Beseech the Mirror. And for 1 and triple black, you get a sorcery, Bargain, and it says search your library for a card, any card, exile it face down, then shuffle. If this spell was bargained, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 4 or less. Put the exiled card into your hand if it was not cast this way. So basically, if you cast this spell without bargaining it, it basically just acts as a diabolic tutor. Go find your favorite card, and now you have it. But if you kick it with the bargain effect, like let's say for example, you're playing with role tokens. You can sacrifice one of the role tokens to get the kicker effect, or you can sacrifice a creature token, like a rat token or a squirrel token or something along those lines, or blood tokens or treasure tokens. Like anything that is like just quickly thrown away will help you pay for the bargain kicker effect. So like instead of the usual kicker cost of spending additional mana to get added effect, you get to just throw away something else. It's like it's an interesting way of utilizing kicker without making people spend all of their mana to do it. So if you kick it, then not only do you get the card to your hand, but if its mana value is 4 or less, you get to play it immediately. So imagine this. You pay the 4 mana for Beseech the Mirror, you throw away a role token or a treasure token, and suddenly you have a free Sheoldred on the table, or you have a free like Ravenous Baloth, or like whatever fun thing that you want to be playing with right now, be it an artifact. The One Ring comes to mind. If it's a spell, if it's another artifact or a creature, or anything that you want like right now that helps forward your game plan, boom, Beseech the Mirror. Go get it in play right now for the low cost of a treasure token. Seems pretty good to me. But that's the bargain mechanic, and it's my personal favorite of the entire set. I cannot wait to get my hands on the bargain mechanic and start brewing decks with it. It's going to be great. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about the last mechanic of the set, and it is Celebration. Celebration is, in my opinion, probably the lowest power level out of all of them. Basically, what it works as is Celebration is a this turn effect that triggers if at least 2 permanents have entered the battlefield this turn. And the way you get that to trigger is either by playing multiple creatures in a turn, or you can do this a little bit more effectively and play creatures or other permanents that also put other permanents into play. Like, for example, Cat Burglar from New Capenna. It was a 3 mana, 3/3 Vigilance Trample that when it comes into play, it creates a treasure token. Boom, that's 2 permanents right there. That's going to trigger a card like Godric Cloaked Reveler here. And what this guy does is he says, Celebration, as long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, Godric Cloaked Reveler is a dragon with base power and toughness 4/4, flying, and has pay 1 red. Dragons you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So he's clearly like the most powerful out of all the Celebration cards. Most of the other Celebration cards do other like small like combat-centric abilities. But that being said, like it's probably on the like the lower end of like the power curve when you compare it against Adventures and compared against Bargain. But that's pretty much to be the way that you trigger it. You get it to trigger it like effectively, like just playing cards that also generate tokens, or playing cards that create like creature tokens, or like 2-for-1 cards is what you want to fill your deck with if you're going with the Celebration mechanic. So that's that, and the only other thing that we really need to talk about with the mechanics is the role tokens themselves. So there are a lot of cards in this set from all of the colors of the color pie. No one really gets left out here, that attach these tokens to other creatures on the battlefield, and they are like the monster role, there's the noble role, wizard role. There's like 6 different roles, and each of these, the role is treated as a token. It is treated as an enchantment aura, and it goes directly onto a creature. So cards that consider enchantments, or cards that consider tokens or anything like that, are going to interact with the role tokens, and those are going to be the ones that you kind of want to build a deck around if you want to focus on cards that care about that. Like what immediately comes to mind is Calyx. He's the green and white celestial creature from Aftermath. And one of his abilities was if a creature that is enchanted with an aura attacks and hits an enemy opponent, you will draw a card because it had an aura on it. Now, typically, you would have to enchant your creature with a card from hand, like an aura card from your hand. But with the rolls just go directly onto it and are treated as an enchantment. And that is something that Calyx cares about. He wants to see that an aura enchantment is on a creature when you are attacking. So it's cards like that that are going to be really caring about these rolls. So bear that in mind when you're building your decks. Well, those are the mechanics from this new set. I know what I'm excited to play with, but I'd like to know what you want to be playing with as well. I'm personally going for Bargain, but Adventures also looks pretty fun too. So go ahead and let me know what you're interested to play with by telling me in the comments down below. And normal videos will likely be returning very soon. With spoiler season coming to an end, I can now start focusing my efforts more on more deck building, budget guides, things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, and you happen to have found my channel by mistake or through the woe spoilers, that's kind of the stuff that I like to focus on. So if you want to see more of that, feel free to subscribe. So until next time, take care of yourselves.